Hey everyone, it's Clancy, and today I'm going to be doing something a bit different than all my other videos because this has nothing to do with beauty. It actually has to do with education, which I feel like is so important and essential in one's life because it is true that it is the foundation for the rest of your life as an individual. So I know that studying can be so difficult, especially as a teenager. It's so difficult to just concentrate, and so I have some great tips that I found has helped me throughout my whole entire life, and I do really think that these tips come in great handy when it comes time for my studying, especially for midterms and finals. Let's get into it. Find a quiet place with no distractions. Absolutely zero distractions. We don't want a baby crying in the next room. We don't want to be on speakerphone with my friend Jill or iChat with my friend Tomas. We don't want to have Facebook open right next to me as a distraction for every single time my little notification thing comes up. We don't want any distractions. Alright, now moving on. This, I know you want to wrap up this index card. You just want to be like, no. But, why'd I just do that? But, yes, I'm telling you right now, yes. Honestly, by rewriting all of your notes, all of the notes you've taken in that section, in that chapter, for the year, if it's a final, it seems so tedious. And yes, I will admit, it is very, very tedious, and you get so bored, and it's boring, and it's stupid. Honestly, I find it pretty relaxing. I don't know. Whatever. Honestly, it's going to help you immensely. By rewriting all of your notes, you're not just studying them in your head, where sometimes I'll be reading a whole entire chapter and I'll be like, wait, what did I just read? I was just thinking about what Nicole said to me this morning this whole entire time. Oh my gosh, I wasn't even paying attention. But when you write something, you are forced to really concentrate on it and try it. It literally just goes right into my brain. My third tip, know all definitions. To know all the definitions is basically the base, the foundation of what you are learning, and the whole entire chapter or unit or year, even if it's a final. I'm telling you, by knowing the definitions, it's literally like a foundation. You can't, let's say you're on Facebook with your friends, and every other 5 words you don't know, it's like, let's say the words like, like let's say that's the word, like it's spelled like UEIS 9-4-20. You're not going to know what that's saying, and you're telling me that you can go through your whole entire Facebook, you can be Facebooking friends, you can be doing everything, and completely understand what they are saying if that word, is in every other 5 words. No, that's impossible. You're not going to know what they're saying, you're not going to understand, and so you can't tell me that you can ace a test without knowing all the definitions. Your biggest friend with this is going to be index cards. Next is kind of silly maybe, but this works for me so much, and maybe I'm a weird person, and I really hope no one I know sees this, even though they will. So, I'm not gonna lie, to memorize certain stuff, I make up acronyms, I make up songs, I make up the weirdest rhymes ever. I do it all the time. Like, you know what? Break out the music, break out the jams, break out the tap dancing. I'm literally telling you, don't be afraid to use acronyms, to use songs, to use rhymes. This is going to help your brain absorb it so much easier. The next tip is huge. Teach what you have learned. I'm telling you. Right now you're probably like, what does that mean? To teach what you have learned. I once read this somewhere, or I heard it, or maybe it was like a dream about like a bear who was chasing a monkey. I don't know. But, okay, if you have complete understanding of something, if you completely know it, if you completely get it, then you can teach what you have learned. You can teach it. You can teach it to anyone. You can teach it to a 7-year-old or a 17-year-old. You can teach it to anyone. So, in order to know if you have learned what you have learned, in order to help yourself learn it, if you teach it to someone, or even to no one, which I'll explain in a second, which is really embarrassing, you will learn it so much better and easier and quicker and just overall better. Okay, this is really embarrassing, but what I did to study my midterm last year is I went downstairs, I cleaned off my dry erase board, and I pretended that I was, like, teaching it. Like, when I say pretended, I don't mean, like, I broke into, like, the whole teacher thing. I wasn't like, oh, Larry, you answer this question. Yeah, oh, good job, Billy. Raise your hand, though, next time. No! I mean, like, I kind of just went into my dry erase board, and I was, like, kind of talking to myself out loud. And then my last general tip I can tell you from experience that if the topic doesn't interest you, you're going to blow it off, you're going to be like, no way, or even if you do decide to study it, you're not going to memorize it, it's not going to go into your brain, you're going to be reading a whole bunch of gibberish, basically. And you're saying, oh, I wish it was fun, but how can I just make something that's so boring fun? That's impossible. You really can, though. I mean, honestly, you kind of have to, like, I'm going to explain this more for, these, to be quite honest. This is actually kind of going to lead into this, but, I'm telling you that if you somehow make that topic interesting, I don't care if you need to tap dance while eating a banana milkshake while saying it. I don't do that. Science, I know, can be the hardest subject to memorize. It's boring. It makes me yawn all the time. I'm like, ew, science, that's disgusting. But whether you're taking earth science, biology, chemistry, physics, environmental, or even basic science, honestly, you just need to make it interest you, because whatever you're learning is happening either inside of you or around you when it comes to science. And by taking a step back before you study it, and you're like, whoa, this is happening inside of me, or this is happening around me, and it kind of makes, it helps me be interested, at least. It literally does. I'm like, whoa there. Science is life. It's not fiction. It's real. And again, with the definitions, once you get the definitions down pat, just find out all the little fluffy details. Sorry, it got dark outside, so I had to put my lamp on. Global. And with global, the main thing about global is the definitions. What I was talking about before. And the fact that that made it into my little generalizations shows that it is important. I can tell you from past experiences that if you don't know the definitions, you won't ace the test. You won't get global. And, okay, so here's my tip for global is, what you should do is you should memorize all the definitions. Just memorize them. Just have all the definitions. So it's kind of like an outline of the chapter. Basically, it literally is. Check for yourself. That's like an outline of the chapter so far. Then, go through all the other stuff in the chapter. Put yourself in the mindset, in the perspective of the people in global. Because the good thing about global, the plus side, what makes it a little interesting is that it's actual live people. It's people who made real decisions, who were in real times of crisis, real predicaments at one specific time. And once you kind of realize that, it kind of makes you a little more interested in it. I mean, these people at one point were in predicament. You kind of learn the definitions, and then you learn all the other stuff around it. Math, I guess the reason I like math so much is because there's always a right answer. I feel like math should be everyone's favorite subject. You don't have to really memorize too much. I mean, yeah, there are formulas here and there, but for the most part, it's just using your brain. Math, it's all black and white. It's either right or it's wrong. So my biggest tip for math is to pay attention in class. I don't care if you want to fool around in Spanish. Well, not a good idea. I learned that firsthand. But okay, well, whatever. I don't care if you want to fool around in global. I don't care if you want to fool around in science, because those you can kind of basically teach yourself when you get math. It's a little different. You need, I think, at least I need someone teaching it to me. I need someone telling it to me. I have so many questions. You have to pay attention in math. Pay attention. Ask questions. Math, you need to ask questions. If you have one little shade of a doubt, if you don't get it, ask a question. Just do it. Just pop up your hand and be like, yo. Well, don't say that, but whatever. Those are all my tips for studying, and these are known to help me so much. So those are all my tips for studying, and I know this wasn't a beauty video, but I feel like this can be relatable to every single kid or teenager, or even people in college out there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you use these tips, and I really hope that you try well in school and apply yourself 100%. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.